What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Lord of the Tacos, Sir Taco. Welcome to a first for the channel where we're going to be reacting to a video. Which video, you may ask? Well, news video that came out today from RuneScape, from Jagex, the future of microtransactions, and pretty much what their upcoming approach to it is going to be. Now, I have watched the video ahead of time. I have seen others' reactions to it. I have also seen clips from the quote unquote, I guess, from the Reddit post. I have seen that. I've kind of skimmed through the blog. So I definitely already have some opinions and pretty much some thoughts on what their ideas and what their plans are with the upcoming update. So I definitely think, this isn't a first impression. This is kind of just giving you guys my thoughts on what's coming up. And I think it'd be kind of a good video to do just because this is the thoughts of a returning player to RuneScape. So just kind of bear with me. Like I said, I've already watched it, so we'll watch it again together this time, and we'll do some pauses and whatnot, and I'll just kind of give my opinion. And so, yeah, if you guys enjoy this type of content or want to see more, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated, and every little bit helps. We do stream about once or twice a month over on Twitch, so definitely go give us a follow over on there. Other than that, let's get right into the video. Boom.
Our MTX approach is harming RuneScape, and it's time that we took action. RuneScape 3 is almost 25 years old, and we wholeheartedly believe that this game has many more years ahead of it.
I agree.
If we want to go from where we are today, where, bluntly, our population isn't really growing, to decades of a booming community, then it's time we take some big swings, even when they aren't easy or simple. This isn't a...
See, I don't know much about the situation, about why the former CEO left, and then why we now have Mod North as the CEO currently. But already I've been liking his approach to community engagement. This isn't like a Glaze moment here, so don't take that as this, but I'm very appreciative when a developer of games are very open and just have a very open dialogue with the people watching there or the people playing their games and stuff. So very appreciative of that. And he's right. The game numbers aren't where the game once was. I mean, this is the original, this is the base game here. You have old school RuneScape that exists, but this right here is the original game that was created. So it is kind of a bummer to see the sorry state that it's in. I think I've heard people say it's right now like 20,000 players compared to like old school RuneScapes, which is like vastly outweighs the number of players that play on RuneScape 3. Like I said, I'm a returning player. I played old school, and I didn't get high in that game either. And I've returned from old school RuneScape to RuneScape 3, and been playing the new series as an Iron Man. Off the rip, a lot of people don't like playing RuneScape 3 because of the microtransactions. As a returning player, and even I would even say as a new player, if I immediately come into a game and it's immediately bombarded with nothing but ads to spend your hard-earned money in game, to me it's kind of already like a big buzzkill. Granted, that is the status quo, that is kind of the norm nowadays with most free-to-play games, so it's understandable. At the same time, it's very, very, very sleazy. At the same time, there's a whole topic on there that we could definitely talk about. But anyways, I like his very direct approach and very blunt approach right off the rip.
A fluffy thing to say, it's our mission statement. We love this game and it deserves to thrive. The era of a tainted RuneScape 3 is coming to an end. When our work is done, we want every single player to feel the same ownership that we've fostered so well in our approach to old school. There are many areas of the game that require real change, but the area we're talking about specifically today is our approach to microtransactions. Today, MTX and RuneScape is a major part of how we fund the game. Despite the continual community feedback out there in the world, whether on Reddit, on a survey, or at RuneFest, we've been tentative to take action because of that reality. And that change now comes with real risk. But it's time to be brave. Because frankly, sticking to the path we're on also represents real risk to this game. both in its ability to have a growing community and to how it sustains itself. We're now on a mission to rejuvenate RS3's future with a firm focus on game integrity. That means thinking about the ways that we monetize, how the game looks, the broader player experience, and our approach to producing grade A content. We've run some.
I like that. I like that off the rip. Because honestly, like most people that most videos and most people that I hear that talk about RuneScape 3, they highly recommend that you play the game as an Iron Man. So you can kind of avoid all the bloatware that is the, microtransactions that are on your screen, the treasure hunter keys, stuff like that. I'm still very out of the loop when it comes to those things, so I have really no clue to the extent of what all those stores do. I do know that you can buy like skillable, like you don't have to, I think it's like non-resource skilling stuff like training dummies and a couple other things where you can just literally stand at the Grand Exchange and just skill there. It kind of seemed like from some old videos that I watched about the status of RuneScape 3, where a lot of people were kind of more on the line talking about it's rushed to get you to end game and get you to PVMing, which I've seen from the Reddit. A lot of people play the game because of the PVMing. The PVMing there's a big community for it, and a lot of people enjoy that aspect of the game. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, but I like the fact that they're pushing for rejuvenizing the game. I, for one, like I said, I played old school. I like old school because of the grind, but it's a weird ick, I guess, to kind of have, but I don't like playing old school because of the graphics, if that makes sense. And it's weird because I know they have, you have the HD client or that RuneScape is making, that Jagex is making. You have, the 117 HD within RuneLite. You have even HDOS, which is its own client I've used before. It kind of gets it up to 2008 graphics when the first HD client was kind of launched to the game. And I like HDOS, don't get me wrong. I love it. It's my favorite way to play old school RuneScape just because it brings me back to when I was a kid playing RuneScape, which was right around the 2008 to 2012 timeframe before EOC. So I just want this game. I think there's a lot of cool content. I played through some of the quests. I know on the Iron Man series, we're only on, I think, we just got through Shield of Arav and Demon Slayer, but I like the way that they redid those quests. Additionally, I did play through Rune Mysteries on my main account, and I like the voice acting. I even played through some of the, I'm forgetting the original quest name. That's how bad I am. But the Alcarid storyline, I think it was originally. It's how bad it is. My memory sucks sometimes. Give me 1 second. Let me research this for you guys real quick. 1 second. Hold on. So the original quest was the Prince Ali rescue, right? That was the original quest, and that's the quest that's still in old school RuneScape. But they redid it for RuneScape 3, and now I think it's like a 2-part series where it's called Stolen Hearts, and I forget what the other one is called. But I played through the first one, and very amazing quest, honestly. I had a blast playing it on stream. I'll try to maybe put a clip there of us playing it on stream. I was very, very impressed with that quest. And I think that goes to show, like, I've heard a lot of people talk about the questing in RuneScape 3 and how like the voice lines and how a couple things are a lot better, and clearly they're applying them to old school. But I just feel like the microtransactions just kind of keep us away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of just keeps us from experiencing the game at that core, which I've been enjoying playing with the Iron Man account and even playing with the Iron Man account, grinding for all our stuff. I just recently been doing like mining skilling, and I've actually enjoyed the mining and smithing mini games that are within the skilling for it. A bunch of stuff, honestly. I've just had a lot more fun grinding it in RuneScape 3, surprisingly, on both the main account and on the Iron Man. I think a little bit more on the Iron Man just because you have to earn everything. You can't go and buy stuff from the Grand Exchange, as you know, with Iron Man accounts. But I've just had such a blast playing with both accounts.
Surveys, we've captured feedback. Now is the time for us to stop talking and get actions on the table.
Oh yeah.
Today is all about how we're doing that. And so on that note, I'd like to hand over to the great team working on our mission to transform our approach to MTX and what you can expect to see in the months ahead.
We need to test our thinking on big changes we want to make to how MTX is approached in RuneScape. These need to be changes that you feel are right and also have some consideration to the game's sustainability.
We also must address the unhealthy relationship of microtransactions within our game design. To make those changes, we need to better understand the implications any change could have for the game, from design to player behavior to the game's current operating model.
To find what works, we need to run a series of experimental changes with our aptly named experiments. We know not everything can be tested with surveys or paper-based designs.
True.
So any new ideas we try will be short-term tests, no more than a couple of weeks, that we conduct in the game to get tangible data and feedback from you.
Beginning next month, we'll be testing a new experiment each month for 3 months, with communication before they enter the game.
I know about these. I do know about
what
these.
We're looking to learn.
We'll listen to your feedback while it's live, and then pull the experiment from the game. After that, we'll look at the data and build a picture of how the experiment went.
Like I said, like I'm enjoying the amount of care and the amount of emphasis. Now, whether or not like Jagex can like back this up or not, I don't know. Like I said, much of what's happened in the last few years. I know there's been a couple debacles here and there. One being, I think, with like the membership tier system and then microtransactions moving over to old school RuneScape. I don't know much other than that of some of the stuff that's kind of happened with Jagex. I think that was before Mod Norv's time, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, please. But I like the emphasis on player feedback. It's the same feel that you get from the old school RuneScape community, where they're very with the polls that they run every time, the live streams. I feel that same energy from the old school team now with RuneScape 3. And that makes me very excited. Like I said, I am a sucker for development studios, for game studios, just being very open and honest with the process. To me, it's the same way with like Halo Studios, who's now replaced Super 3 per se. I like how they were very open with the way they were going. It takes time. I've bazillion done like books read on game development, and I know I don't know the process by firsthand experience, but I know it is very, very hectic making games and supporting them. So kudos to Jagex so far for being just very, very open with us and just ripping the Band-Aid off and just saying, this is how it is. It's not great, but we want to fix it.
And given it's a conversation, you can expect us to follow up with what we've learned and our next steps after we've completed all 3.
Our first experiment in July turns off Treasure Hunter entirely, with only stars and knowledge bombs available for direct purchase during the experimental period.
Our second experiment in August runs during our next double XP event, where we'll disable the ability to use MTX-based skilling items like proteins and dummies for the duration of the event.
Okay.
Our third
See, that's going to be interesting because the first one is like, okay, they're kind of like weaning it in because I know they want to replace Treasure Hunter. I think that is their end goal, is they want to replace Treasure Hunter with something that is more sustainable and I guess not as aggressive of a tactic. And I would even go with the proteins and the training dummies. That kind of kills the vibe of the game to me, because what I've been noticing as I've been skilling in RuneScape 3 is it's definitely not the same as it is in old school. Granted, old school is more of a grind because there is no double XP and you have to go to these training areas or you have to go to these skilling areas and actually put time and effort into them. You could, of course, AFK some of them, on your computer while you're at work, you're doing whatever you want to do. It is possible, but majority of the time you're there skilling, and that's where, as a kid, fond memories of skilling, fishing, woodcutting, mining, all this stuff. You're doing it and you're just chatting with complete strangers across the world, making connections. I will say, like, the RuneScape 3 community, when you actually talk to the people that are in the community, 100% super friendly, like the most friendly people that I've came across. Like, people will stop and come up to me like in game and just kind of be like, hey, like, heard you're new per se. Like, I'd be streaming there. We can probably cut to a couple clips of that where I'm live streaming and people come up, or even then when I wasn't live streaming, I think too, people just come up and give you tips, give you guides, like here and there, of some of the new skills, some of the new stuff that you may have missed out on. And like, I will say, like, the RuneScape 3 community so far from what I've garnered, granted, I have not stayed around that kind of exchange, so I stay away from that, I guess, kind of debacle, but the RuneScape 3 community as a whole is so welcoming and so nice. So I will say, like, I think getting rid of those, we're definitely going to see, I've seen already a couple comments in the Reddit posts where people are wanting to come back to RuneScape 3 if they get rid of, like, the proteins, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. How did they say it? Hold on.
MTX-based skilling items like proteins and dummies.
Proteins. Yeah, they're weird. I don't know. But like if they take away the skilling items and stuff like that, they're more wanting to come back to the game and actually enjoy playing it that way. And I think that's why most people enjoy playing it as an Iron Man, just because you have to earn everything. But I would definitely like to see more people come back and not have to play Iron Man and just be able to experience the base game and have fun with that. So I'm excited for this
Our
one.
third experiment in September will see us launch a host of cosmetic overrides onto the marketplace, including items previously available only via treasure
This one I
hunting.
could kind of.
During these 3 months,
It's
we'll
not
also
a
launch
hit. It's
one longer-running test,
So on that one.
Cosmetic Free Worlds.
This
We
one,
expect these to be available for
I'm
at
pretty
least
pumped up
4
for.
weeks, and it will help us gauge interest in a more grounded visual identity for the game.
like I said with that one, the cosmetic free worlds, I've seen so many people already on Reddit and a couple other places excited for that change alone. I've seen some of the cosmetics, like the wings and the auras and stuff like that. It's kind of cool, but I'm not really a fan of it. I kind of like seeing just the base game. I definitely think you could have 2 worlds. There's an infinite possibilities, and I've even seen some people talk about consolidating worlds as is, just because since the player base right now isn't as big as old school RuneScape. So some people have talked about maybe consolidating some of the worlds together. I purposely play on a legacy only US server that's a members world. If you know about the Legacy Chronicles series, there's a reason why. It's because we're only doing legacy combat. And so I think that's something that's very cool that they can do, is just give people back the power of choice within the game and not just kind of shove everybody. It's kind of not really shoving everybody into a world, but if you want to talk to people, you kind of have to be in some of those worlds. So I think that's going to definitely garner back some people to come back. And then with that, with more people like myself and a couple other content creators making videos about the RuneScape 3 changes, I think we could start seeing new players. I've already had some people talk to me about wanting to try RuneScape 3, and majority of it, reasons why they don't want to, I think, is kind of to do with the graphics. I have seen the posts by the JMods, I think, or the live stream where they've talked about, reworking the current player avatars. I'm excited for that. So I think there's a lot of good changes coming to the game. We just kind of have to sit and wait. But I kind of like the fact that they're already hitting the ground running, wanting to try some experiments, try some stuff out, and we'll definitely continue to cover on it.
Everyone can get involved in providing feedback, whether you participate directly in the test or not, and we'll be listening to your opinions across the community.
We're super excited to launch experiments that will teach us what we need to know to really improve the place of any microtransactions in the game.
Our experiments might not always hit the mark for everyone, but doing this with you lets us find out what works and what doesn't.
We are excited to go on this journey with you, Scapers. Together, we can find a better way forward.
Thanks to the whole team working hard on making this happen. This has never been done before, so please do provide the team and your fellow players the space for constructive dialogue throughout this process. It won't be easy. Experimenting means there could be imperfections, which is why we're involving you and being open about our challenges. Through what we learn in the data and with your feedback, we can find our path forwards. We know where we want to be, we just need to figure out how to get there. We're as serious as can be about overhauling RS3's approach to monetization and creating a future where our success is measured by the size, the engagement, and the satisfaction of our community. The process of change starts today as we head towards an exciting new era for this beautiful game. If you'd like to know more, please do head on over to RuneScape.com for a detailed blog on our decision-making.
That's where we're going to head to next.
And some commitments on how we'll approach this. Thank you, as always, for watching, and we'll see you in Gillinor.
So I think that's pretty cool already, right off the rip. So here we have the blog post. Skim through it pretty much. You can pause and read as you go through it. I know they did a survey about it. I think I've heard recently. pretty much like the survey results here, big infos here is like 42% of responders feel microtransactions currently detract from their experience. I can agree with that. Of those who buy microtransactions, 86% of them are unhappy with the mechanics of Treasure Hunter. 60% of X players felt that microtransactions detracted from their experience of the game. 63% of X players said they would be more likely to return if we address key concerns with XP-related microtransactions. That's cool that they're putting out the data. They're saying this is what it is. Once again, I'm not familiar with what Jagex has done before, but I think it's really cool that they're just like very like, yeah, hey, this is what it is. We're going to fix it. As I said in the video, pretty much they're trying to fix a lot of RuneScape 3 and make it playable and garner kind of just more attention to it, the game, and bolster it back up. I think part of that with them saying, you know, we must find a better approach for what and how we offer additional purchases within RuneScape, all that stuff, and they're focused on making the game, just providing bigger updates. I kind of feel like, and I don't know, like I said, I haven't played fully through the game yet, but I kind of feel like RuneScape 3 needs to find an identity on what type of MMORPG it is. It's clearly not the scrappy classic that old school is. So it's just kind of, they need to find out what kind of game this is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my opinion of it. And I think them doing these cool in-game experiments and more and more people talking about it, I think is going to garner the appropriate attention to help them find what the identity, and do the same thing that old school is doing, which is the players help shape the game into what they want it to be. And I find that extremely cool. As they talked about, the experiment's going to be really short. They'll make an announcement detailing what the experiment is going to be, its purpose, when it's releasing, when they're going to deploy it. It'll be usually short, 1 to 14 days. Some of them, like I guess, you know, like they said already, are going to last pretty long. Like July, I think is it. From what I'm understanding here, it's going to be the entire month of July, I want to say. Beginning in July, you can expect the following experiments to pop up over the next 3 months. But anyways, disabling Treasure Hunter, we will turn off Treasure Hunter instead of offering bundles, and then instead offering bundles of stars and knowledge bombs for direct purchase, capped at 1 bundle per day. So that's pretty cool. I don't know what either of those microtransactions are. I know a little bit about Treasure Hunter, but I don't really much. During the double XP event, double XP with only bonus XP available, we will disable the use of proteins, dummies, lamps, and other skilling items available via microtransactions entirely in our autumn, which is weird because they said August. So I've already seen some people kind of talk about, they might have already corrected it, possibly. I mean, clearly the blog post isn't updated, but they said August, and August is still summer. Autumn is different. So I don't know which one it actually is, if it's going to be both. There's really no clue. I guess we'll just kind of have to wait and find out. And then the cosmetic mega drop they were talking about, I think that one was in between it, disabling Treasure Hunter and the double XP. I think that one was in also August or September. No, that was in September, I think. I want to say. So I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of these. Yeah, so we'll also have one more bonus experiment based on feedback over the years, cosmetic free worlds. Yeah, so that was the one they talked about in the video. Comes next, these experiments mark a 3-month road ahead of us. Over that time, we expect to gather enough insight to help us make big decisions on how we approach microtransactions going forward. Depending on what we learn, this may be all we need to know. If we feel there's still things we need to test, we may need to try a few more experiments in the following months. Either way, we'll be communicating clearly and openly a little while after these experiments, so you know exactly what to expect. Please ignore Leo playing in the background. Commitments to you. We've had some false starts in our past when it comes to sharing an intention to remove or reduce monetization, particularly with new offerings. In acknowledgement of that, we all have some firm commitments you can hold us to. Our intent with these commitments is to give you confidence that positively participating in is leading us to do something better. Okay. What we will do, we will communicate context on our decisions. We will communicate early and often, providing space for discussion and debate. We will consider all types of players and communities throughout our decision making. We will consider, say hi to Leo, everybody. Delicious. What delicious. Oh. We will consider every kind of player, spender, and community space in our feedback for our experiment evaluations. We don't expect to please everyone, but no one's perspective trumps all others. I like that because that is true. It is hard to please everybody. So I like the fact that they're immediately acknowledging that. Hard to please everybody. It's going to suck. Some communities aren't going to like it. Tough. And if there's something I don't like, tough, you guys can comment about it later. We would use this opportunity to approach microtransactions in a way that is healthier for the game. We hear your concerns about the existing impact of microtransactions offerings. Addressing this is a core part of our design approach to any solution. What we won't do. We will not use this opportunity to be more aggressive in offering XP benefits outside the core game loop. Okay. We may explore optional offerings that serve those who are shorter on time in future, but not in a way that discourages gameplay. Okay. Yeah, that's appeasing both communities, I guess. We will not make our final proposed changes without showing them to you first. We will clearly communicate what we intend to do, when, and why prior to any changes being implemented to allow our final feedback. We will not go silent on MTX at the end of this process. The era of this being a taboo subject for us is over. We will continue to invite community feedback on how we approach microtransaction going forward. Okay. Content remains king. There's a lot going on with this. It's important we're really clear on what this means for the core game. That's what matters most. Everything you've heard about today has zero impact on our content development or roadmaps. Absolutely zero. The team that currently works on microtransactions are the team working through this project and every experiment. No developers or resources have been moved to this project for existing content, and it will stay that way. The roadmap is protected and remains our top priority always. We need your support. Today is just the beginning of a journey and a lot of conversation ahead of us. We know a subject like this won't always be the easiest to talk about. You are one of the most knowledgeable and considerate communities you could ask for in gaming. This is something we can figure out openly in ways other games could never even consider. When stepping into the unknown, there's always the chance some ideas might not work as is or feel right. Please do your best to provide us and your fellow players the space to approach this constructively. Clearly, thoughtful critiques or validations will make all the difference to us to truly learning from this and finding our path forward for the game. Let's get this done, Scapers. Strong arm. Final word. So like it says, pretty much, honestly, dude. Constructive feedback. I think us complaining in the Reddit or on the Discord and not providing any like actual feedback on what can fix or what is a better replacement. I don't think microtransactions are going away. I don't think the game nor Jagex can really survive with that going away. It's an unfortunate world we live in now. I don't mind per se cosmetics microtransactions. I'm cool with that. I've bought some before for like Overwatch, Marvel Rivals, a couple other games, Halo Infinite. So I'm not really mad about it. It's just another way to help support the game you love and maybe get something dope out of it, as long as the cosmetics are cool. I do think it's going to be hard for them to get rid of the skilling microtransactions. I think it's doable. I think they'll find a way, and I love the fact that they're very community oriented on this one. So yeah, that'll wrap it up for our reaction to the MTX video. It's kind of a long video depending how I edited this. Let me know your thoughts on the upcoming changes to MTX and the upcoming experiments down in the comments below. If you guys want to see more and you enjoyed this video, consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Other than that, we'll catch you guys out there in the world of Gilnor. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Bye.